In the grand story of India's journey to freedom, some names shine like bright stars. One such name is Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. He was a man of great strength and determination. People lovingly called him the Iron Man of India. This title was not just a name, it described his character perfectly. He was as strong as iron when it came to his decisions for the country. He never wavered from the path of truth and duty. His work was crucial in shaping the India we see today. He was not just a freedom fighter, he was a master builder of a new, united nation. His story is one of incredible courage, sacrifice, and a deep love for his motherland. Imagine a huge puzzle with hundreds of scattered pieces. That was India in 1947, when the British left. The country was divided into many small kingdoms and territories. Someone had to put all these pieces together to create a single, strong picture. That person was Sardar Patel. He took on this giant task with unmatched skill and a firm hand. His vision was clear: to create one India, or Ek Bharat. He believed that India's strength lay in its unity. Without him, the map of India might have looked very different and much more fragmented than it is today. His contribution is a foundational pillar upon which modern India stands tall and proud. His life teaches us that with a strong will, anything is possible. Sardar Patel faced many challenges, both from the British rulers and from within the country, but his spirit was unbreakable. He worked tirelessly, often forgetting his own health and comfort. His focus was always on the welfare of the Indian people. He dreamed of an India that was not only free from foreign rule, but also free from poverty, division, and weakness. He was a practical leader who understood the real problems of the common man. He spoke their language and felt their pain, which made him a true leader of the masses. This essay will take you on a journey through the life of this remarkable leader. We will explore his early days, his transformation from a successful lawyer into a dedicated freedom fighter, and his monumental achievements. We will see how he worked alongside Mahatma Gandhi and other great leaders to win India's independence. Most importantly, we will understand why he is remembered as the great unifier of India. His story is not just a chapter in a history book. It is an inspiring tale of how one person's dedication can shape the destiny of millions of people for generations to come. Vallabhbhai Patel was born on October 31st, 1875, in a small town called Nadiad in Gujarat. His family was not rich. His father, Vallabhbhai Patel, was a simple farmer, and his mother, Ladba, was a kind and hardworking woman. Growing up in a farmer's family, Vallabhbhai learned the value of hard work from a very young age. He would help his father in the fields and understand the struggles of village life. This upbringing made him tough, practical, and deeply connected to the soil of India. He was a quiet and serious boy, but he had a very strong mind and a determined spirit that would one day change the course of Indian history. His early education was simple. He went to local schools in his village and nearby towns. He was not the most brilliant student in the conventional sense, but he was very observant and had a sharp sense of justice. He organized his fellow students to protest against a teacher who was unfair. This small act showed the first glimpse of his leadership qualities. He knew he wanted to become a lawyer, but his family did not have enough money to send him to a big college. So, Vallabhbhai decided to study on his own. He borrowed books from lawyers he knew and studied day and night, showing incredible self-discipline and focus. Through sheer hard work, Vallabhbhai passed the law examination and became a lawyer. He started his practice in a small town called Godhra. He quickly became known as a very skilled and fearless lawyer. He was sharp, confident, and brilliant in the courtroom. People respected him for his honesty and his powerful arguments. He soon moved his practice to the bigger town of Borsad, where his fame grew even more. He earned a lot of money and became one of the most successful lawyers in the region. He lived a comfortable life and had dreams of going to England for higher studies in law. His ambition was to become a top barrister, a highly respected type of lawyer. He saved money for years to fulfill this dream. Finally, at the age of 35, he traveled to England to study at the Middle Temple Inn in London. Even there, he worked incredibly hard. He completed the difficult 3-year course in just 2.5 years, standing first in his class. This was a huge achievement. When he returned to India, he was a highly qualified barrister. He started his practice in the city of Ahmedabad and became even more successful. He wore Western-style suits, lived in a big house, and focused on his career and his family. For many years, Vallabhbhai Patel was completely focused on his legal career. He was a man of routine and discipline, dedicated to providing the best for his children. He was not very interested in politics or the growing freedom movement. He thought that talking and protesting would not achieve much. He believed in action and results. He would often see political leaders, including Mahatma Gandhi, giving speeches and leading marches, but he remained distant. He considered politics a waste of time for a practical man like him. His world was the courtroom, where logic and evidence decided the outcome, not speeches and slogans. However, a change was slowly beginning to brew inside him. He had achieved great success as a lawyer, but he started to feel that something was missing. He saw the injustice of British rule all around him. He saw how his fellow Indians were treated as second-class citizens in their own country. The poverty and suffering of the common people, especially the farmers he had grown up with, started to bother him more and more. He began to question the purpose of his own comfortable life when millions of his countrymen were struggling for basic dignity and freedom. The call of his nation was slowly becoming louder than the call of his career. The turning point came when he met Mahatma Gandhi. Initially, Patel was skeptical of Gandhi's ideas of non-violence and civil disobedience. He first heard Gandhi speak at a club in Ahmedabad. Patel was not very impressed at first, but as he listened more and observed Gandhi's actions, he saw a deep sincerity and a powerful force in the Mahatma's methods. Gandhi spoke of truth, self-reliance, and fighting injustice without hatred or violence. This was a new kind of politics, one that was based on moral strength. This philosophy slowly began to attract the practical and justice-loving lawyer in Vallabhbhai Patel. The final push came from his conscience. He realized he could no longer stand by and watch while his country fought for its soul. He had a choice: to continue his prosperous life as a lawyer, or to dedicate his life to the service of his nation. He chose the latter. In 1917, he made the momentous decision to leave his thriving legal practice. He gave up his Western clothes for simple Indian khadi and joined the freedom movement under Gandhi's leadership. It was a huge sacrifice, but for Patel, it was the only right thing to do. His journey as a freedom fighter had begun, and India was about to gain one of its greatest leaders. Sardar Patel's first major test as a political leader came in 1918 in a district called Kheda in Gujarat. The farmers of Kheda were facing a terrible situation. Their crops had failed due to heavy rains and floods. According to the law, if the crop yield was less than 1/4 of the normal amount, the farmers were entitled to a full remission of their land taxes. However, the British government refused to listen. The officials were arrogant and insisted that the farmers pay the full tax. The poor farmers were in a desperate position. They had no money and faced the threat of having their land and cattle taken away. Mahatma Gandhi was asked to lead the farmers' protest, but he was busy with another struggle in Champaran. He needed a capable and dedicated person to lead the movement in Kheda. He saw the potential in Vallabhbhai Patel. Gandhi asked Patel if he would lead the farmers. Patel immediately agreed. This was his first big step into public service. He traveled all over the Kheda district, moving from village to village. He spoke to the farmers, listened to their problems, and understood their fears. He used simple language that they could understand and gave them the courage to stand up for their rights. Under Patel's guidance, the farmers of Kheda took a solemn oath. They pledged not to pay the tax, no matter what the consequences. This was the beginning of the Kheda Satyagraha, a non-violent protest based on truth and firmness. Patel organized the entire movement with great skill. He set up a network of volunteers to spread information and support the farmers. He arranged for food and shelter for those whose property was confiscated by the government. He instructed everyone to remain completely non-violent, even if the officials used force. His organizational skills and his ability to inspire people were on full display. The struggle was long and difficult. The government tried to break the farmers' spirit. They arrested people, seized their belongings, and threatened them with severe punishment. But the farmers, inspired by Patel's unwavering leadership, stood firm. They did not bend. Finally, after months of protest, the government had to give in. They agreed to a compromise. They suspended the tax for that year and the next, and returned all the confiscated property. It was a huge victory for the farmers, and a great moral victory for the Satyagraha movement. The Kheda Satyagraha established Vallabhbhai Patel as a powerful and respected leader of the people. So, 10 years after the success in Kheda, yet another great challenge appeared in the Bardoli Taluka of Gujarat in the year 1928. The British government, all of a sudden, increased the land taxes by a massive 30%. This was, honestly, a cruel and unjust decision. The farmers of Bardoli were, both shocked and angry. They realized they simply could not afford to pay such a high tax. They began searching for a leader who could guide them, and, well, their natural choice was Vallabhbhai Patel, so they invited him to lead their protest. Patel, as always, carefully studied the situation. He understood that this would be a tough fight, but he also saw that the truth was on the side of the farmers, and he decided to take up their cause. When Patel arrived in Bardoli, he began his work with his trademark efficiency. First, he wrote a letter to the governor of Bombay, explaining the farmers' plight and asking for an impartial inquiry. But, unfortunately, the government just wasn't willing to listen. With all avenues for peaceful negotiation closed, Patel told the farmers that the only way left was Satyagraha. He organized a massive meeting of farmer representatives from all over the Taluka. There, the farmers took a pledge to withhold the payment of the revised taxes. They vowed to face any hardship, but not to surrender their self-respect. Patel warned them about the difficult path ahead, but the farmers placed their complete trust in him. The Bardoli Satyagraha became, really, a masterclass in organization. Patel divided the entire Taluka into several camps, each with a leader and a group of dedicated volunteers. He even set up an intelligence wing to keep track of the government's movements. A publicity wing was created to publish daily news bulletins about the struggle, which kept the morale of the people high and informed the rest of the country. Patel gave powerful speeches that filled the farmers with courage and determination. He told them that this was a fight for truth and justice, a Dharma Yudh. His leadership was so inspiring that the women of Bardoli came forward in large numbers to support the movement. The government, in response, acted with extreme harshness. They confiscated the farmers' land, their cattle, and even their homes. But the people of Bardoli stayed united and non-violent, following Patel's instructions to the letter. Soon, the struggle gained national attention, and support poured in from all over India. The pressure on the British government became, honestly, immense. Finally, they were forced to bow down. They appointed an inquiry committee, which found the tax hike to be unjust. The taxes were reduced, the confiscated land was returned, and the farmers won a historic victory. It was during this struggle that the women of Bardoli gave Vallabhbhai Patel the title Sardar, which means chief or leader. From that day on, he was known to the entire nation as Sardar Patel. Sardar Patel's administrative genius was not limited to leading peasant movements. He played an equally important role in building the Indian National Congress into a powerful and organized political party. Before Patel took charge, the Congress was largely a party of intellectuals who met once a year to pass resolutions. Patel transformed it into a mass-based organization that reached every corner of the country. He understood that to fight the mighty British Empire, the Congress needed discipline, structure, and a strong connection with the common people. He became the main architect of the party's machinery. He served as the president of the Indian National Congress in 1931, a crucial period following the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. But his most significant contribution was his work behind the scenes. He was the chairman of the party's parliamentary board. In this role, he was responsible for selecting candidates for elections, managing campaign funds, and enforcing party discipline. He was a master strategist and a strict administrator. He made sure that the party functioned like a well-oiled machine. His judgment of people was excellent, and he chose leaders who were honest, capable, and dedicated to the cause of freedom. Patel believed in action more than words. While other leaders were known for their powerful speeches, Patel was known for his solid work. He managed the party's finances with great care and honesty. He ensured that every rupee collected was used effectively for the freedom struggle. He was a tough taskmaster and did not tolerate indiscipline or corruption. This earned him the reputation of being a stern and formidable leader. Some people even feared him, but everyone respected him. They knew that Sardar Patel's decisions were always guided by the best interests of the party and the nation. His role was especially crucial during the provincial elections of 1937 and 1946. It was his organizational skill that led the Congress to sweeping victories in both these elections. These victories proved that the Congress had the support of the Indian people and strengthened its claim to represent the nation. He acted as the high command of the party, guiding the Congress ministries that were formed in various provinces. He ensured that they governed effectively and worked for the welfare of the people. Through his tireless efforts, Sardar Patel built the Indian National Congress into the main vehicle that would drive India to independence. When India gained independence on August 15, 1947, it was a moment of great joy, but also great danger. The British did not leave behind one single country. They left behind a divided nation, with British India on one side and about 565 princely states on the other. These states were ruled by their own kings and princes, and they were given the choice to either join India, join Pakistan, or remain independent. This was a very dangerous situation. If these states had decided to become independent, India would have been a fragmented map of hundreds of small countries. The dream of a united India would have been shattered. This colossal challenge fell on the shoulders of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who became India's first Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister. He was given the charge of the newly formed States Department. It was a task that seemed impossible to many, but Sardar Patel, with his firm resolve and political wisdom, took it on. He understood the gravity of the situation. He knew that India's unity was paramount for its survival, security, and progress. He embarked on a mission to persuade all the princely states to merge with the Indian Union. It was a race against time, and the future of the nation was at stake. Sardar Patel used a clever combination of persuasion and pressure, a policy often called the carrot and stick approach. He appealed to the patriotism of the princes. He reminded them of their shared culture and history with the rest of India. He assured them that their personal dignities and privileges would be respected. He, along with his able secretary V.P. Menon, worked day and night, negotiating with the rulers. For most princes, this patriotic appeal was enough. They saw the wisdom in joining a strong, united India, and willingly signed the Instrument of Accession, the document of merger. By the deadline of August 15, 1947, an overwhelming majority of states had acceded to India. However, a few states like Junagadh, Hyderabad, and Jammu and Kashmir posed a serious problem. The ruler of Junagadh wanted to join Pakistan, even though his population was mostly Hindu and wanted to join India. Patel handled this firmly, and eventually, a plebiscite was held where the people overwhelmingly voted to join India. The Nizam of Hyderabad, one of the richest men in the world, dreamed of an independent country. After long negotiations failed, Patel sent the Indian army in what was called a police action to restore order and integrate the state. In just a few days, Hyderabad became part of India. Through his statesmanship and decisive action, Sardar Patel successfully integrated over 560 states, creating the united India we know today. Sardar Patel's work did not end with the integration of the princely states. He knew that a united country also needed a strong and efficient administration to govern it. The old British administrative system, the Indian civil service, was seen by many as a tool of colonial rule. Some leaders wanted to dismantle it completely, but Sardar Patel had a different vision. He was a practical man who recognized the experience and talent within the Indian civil service. He believed that instead of destroying the system, it should be reformed and adapted to serve the needs of a free India. He argued passionately in the Constituent Assembly for the creation of an independent and efficient civil service. He believed that a strong, neutral, and permanent bureaucracy was essential for maintaining the unity and stability of the country. He said that the civil services would be the steel frame that would hold the country together. Thanks to his vision and persuasion, the new All India services were created. These included the Indian Administrative Service and the Indian Police Service. He ensured that these services would be free from political interference and would work for the welfare of the people with honesty and integrity. Another immense challenge facing the newly independent nation was the tragedy of partition. Millions of refugees, both Hindus and Sikhs, were pouring into India from the newly created Pakistan. They had lost their homes, their lands, and their loved ones. They arrived in a pitiable condition, with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Providing relief and rehabilitation for these millions of desperate people was a gigantic task. Sardar Patel, as the Home Minister, took charge of this crisis with great compassion and administrative skill. He worked tirelessly to provide them with food, shelter, and security. He supervised the massive relief efforts, especially in Delhi and Punjab. He visited the refugee camps himself to see the conditions and to give people hope. He made sure that the administration moved quickly to allocate land and provide jobs for the displaced families. He appealed to the nation for calm and harmony, urging people not to resort to violence and revenge. His firm and reassuring presence during those dark days was a source of great comfort to the suffering millions. He played a crucial role in healing the wounds of partition and helping the refugees to rebuild their lives and become a part of the new India. Sardar Patel's relationship with Mahatma Gandhi was one of deep respect and loyalty. Although he was initially skeptical of Gandhi, he became one of his most trusted and devoted followers. Gandhi recognized Patel's immense capabilities and often referred to him as his right hand. While they had different approaches, Gandhi was the spiritual guide and Patel was the practical implementer. They shared the same ultimate goal: India's freedom and welfare. Patel's collaboration with Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister, was also crucial. Despite having different political ideologies and occasional disagreements, they worked together for the good of the nation, respecting each other's strengths. Their partnership was vital in guiding India through its difficult early years. Sardar Patel's personal life was marked by great simplicity, discipline, and honesty. Despite holding some of the most powerful positions in the country, he lived a very simple life. He was not interested in wealth or fame. His daughter, Maniben Patel, acted as his secretary and took care of him. She maintained meticulous accounts of every penny that came to the Congress Party, ensuring complete transparency. Patel was a man of few words but strong actions. He believed in hard work and discipline above all else. His integrity was unquestionable, and he never used his position for personal gain for himself or his family. This great son of India passed away on December 15, 1950. His death was a huge loss for the nation, which was still in its infancy. He had worked himself to exhaustion in the service of his country. For his immense contributions, he was posthumously awarded India's highest civilian honor, the Bharat Ratna, in 1991. But his greatest tribute came much later. In 2018, the Government of India unveiled the Statue of Unity in his home state of Gujarat. It is the tallest statue in the world, a fitting tribute to a man of such towering stature. The statue stands as a constant reminder of the man who united India. The legacy of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel is not just in monuments of stone and metal. It is in the very idea of a united and strong India. He left behind a message that is timeless: the importance of unity, integrity, and hard work. He taught us that the nation is always bigger than any individual, community, or region. His life's work ensures that a farmer's son from a small village in Gujarat will forever be remembered as the architect and unifier of modern India. His story continues to inspire millions of Indians to place the country's interests first and to work for its strength and prosperity, following the path of truth and justice.